and welcome on into the March episode of Strategy Game News. From Management Sims to Tower Defense, we have quite a few games hitting early access and 1.0 release, as well as an announcement regarding a pretty cool title. I had a lot of fun checking out the demos for the games in this episode, most of which are still available, so if any games from this episode take your fancy, you'll be able to go and check them out for yourself. Now let's dive on into that announcement. Strategy publisher Hooded Horse announced their newest title, the roguelike fantasy auto-battler He Is Coming on February 10. Developed by Chronicle, this RPG will see the player explore the world to collect equipment and items, arming themselves against a new boss every 3 days. Leaning heavily on nostalgic vibes in terms of art style, gameplay, and music, this auto-battler also features asynchronous multiplayer, meaning in the Kingmaker mode, the bosses you face won't be dark magical beings, but other players' heroes. With over 30 bosses available for the game to throw at you, you'll be able to see the stats of the upcoming creature and prepare accordingly. Your armor and weapons can be tailored with oils and upgrades in order to give you the edge over each foe you'll face. There is currently a demo available if you'd like to check out He Is Coming for yourself, and hopefully we get some more information soon. News Tower, the 1930s management sim, got a huge new update on February 17th. Newspaper moguls will now be able to expand their operations overseas with the Going International update, which grants them access to European headlines. Along with this update come new traits for your journalists to facilitate international journalism, but attention has been paid to optimization on the home soil as well, via the addition of dumbwaiters and pneumatic tubes for efficiency of your production line. Sparrow Knight and Twin Sails Interactive continue delivering the goods for us with News Tower, and honestly, I can't wait until this one hits 1.0. News Tower does have a demo if you'd like to try your hand at running your own newspaper in 1930s New York. Turning our eyes to the skies now, a new gameplay trailer has dropped for Mars Horizon 2, the sequel to the beloved space agency management sim Mars Horizon. Mars Horizon 2: The Search for Life expands upon the premise of the first game, taking the player to other planets with off-world bases and scientific explorations. From mission control, you'll choose which missions to embark upon, paving the way for further exploration with data-gathering satellites and flyovers. Unlike the first game, MH2 seems to have a more macro focus, down to designing and controlling your rovers as they trundle across planet surfaces. You'll be searching for signs of life as you push into the outer reaches of our home galaxy, in charge of your agency's every move. So this is a super good sign that exciting things are happening behind the scenes, and we'll get some more information on this one soon. Moving to March releases now, 2 Point Museum from 2 Point Studios and Sega will be releasing on March 5th. The latest in the well-known management sim series, players will be managing their museum for curious visitors. From exploring for artifacts and attracting guests, players will be responsible for designing and maintaining their museum across a range of modes, including challenges and sandbox mode. As curator, you'll need to manage a number of themed museums, completing objectives to unlock the next stage. You'll also be able to mix and match your experts and their expertise on different objectives, resulting in a crossover of the themes. So far, the museums you'll be managing are prehistory, supernatural, science, space, and an aquarium, but as mentioned, there will also be a sandbox mode if you'd like to run wild and create your own. 2 Point Museum releases super soon on March 5th, so make sure to check it out on Steam if you are interested. Kingdom's Deck is the adorable deck builder from Ivan Aiko and Rogue Duck Interactive, releasing on March 10 into full release. Featuring a very cute low-poly art style, this game is heavily focused on card choices and resource management. Villagers arrive in threes on the daily if you have the food and room to spare, and can be put to work on resource-generating sites. While troops initially are only available from card choices, buildings do become available after the first few waves that will turn spare villagers into warriors, adding yet another decision that you need to make in regards how to spend your precious resources. Waves intensify night after night with varied enemies and require the formation of groups of your troops with hotkeys, which do play a very important part in the gameplay of Kingdoms. Being able to mobilize different sections of your army to effectively defend your town is crucial to fighting back the denizens of the night. You'll be able to join the combat as well via spells that you can throw down onto the battlefield to support your men. Different maps and modes are available, and the player will be able to play through different biomes and challenge themselves with harder difficulties. Honestly, this was a quick and easy game to get into and learn, and extra props for the absolutely bangin' soundtrack. There is still a demo of this one available if you'd like to head over to Steam and check it out. Dark Fantasy Siege Defense RTS Cataclismo is entering 1.0 on March 20th. Having been released into early access in July 2024, Digital Sun and Hooded Horse have been hard at work preparing for full release. Full release will add a new biome, the complete campaign with 17 missions, and a survival mode in which the player will be tested with endless waves of enemies. And there have also been a number of balances and optimizations. In Cataclismo, you'll be defending the last city from the dark horrors of the night. Build brick by brick or blueprint your favorite designs for quick and easy placement. You can even share these with other players on Steam. You will need to manage your resources smartly and make use of the time you have to build before the night and its horrors descend upon you. Use the landscape to your advantage by creating choke points or elevating defensive structures, all the while researching new tech to give you the edge as the sun falls yet again. Cataclismo is a personal favorite of mine, and I'm pretty excited to see this one entering full release. Check it out in the description below. Grit and Valor 1949 is a World War II diesel punk roguelike RTS that will be releasing on March 27. In this alternate history, World War II never ended, and the Axis continues its oppression of Europe via armed mechs. As part of a small rebel faction who have managed to get their hands on some of these mechs, you'll need to undertake a campaign of revenge as you plot to end their technological reign over the world. Grit and Valor features real-time strategy on bite-sized maps. Players will need to utilize the features of these maps in their favor to make it through each wave, unlocking new tech and upgrades as they go. Choose your path through the landscape and make choices in the hope of continuing your journey towards freedom. If you fall, don't despair. The game features meta progression that allows you to upgrade and level back at base, meaning your next run could be quite different to your previous one. I enjoyed the demo that is still currently available for this one, and a large part of that enjoyment came from the art style and setting. The theme of alternate military history is a favorite of mine and is carried across all elements of gameplay, from UI to upgrade screens, really well. It seems to be a super cohesive vision of what the game wants to be, which has always been a really good sign in my experience. Grit and Valor 1949 has a demo up right now and comes out late March. Closing out a very strong month of real-time strategy and roguelikes comes fantasy tower defense Nordhold from developer Stunforge. Releasing at the end of March, this super simple, super fun tower defense game harkens back to all the elements that make this genre a beloved one. You'll need to manage the scarce resources of your town and make strategic decisions about where you want those resources to land the next day as you work through strategic and defensive phases. Shuffling your workers around to ensure a big enough delivery of resources so that you can unlock a building or tech as soon as possible is absolutely crucial, and I'm grieved to report that this game made me do maths. Maths! I had to calculate how much of a resource I would have and then project how I was going to spend it during the next strategic phase. Enemies are varied and require different approaches to defense to defeat them. Your defensive capabilities range from arrow towers to volcano mortars, arc towers, and more. As enemies progress along procedurally generated pathways towards your precious village, you can only sit and watch as your previously built defenses tackle the oncoming onslaught. You'll have your choice of buffs and boons via banners and loot dropped by larger enemies. I was really impressed with the range of options these gave me in terms of preferred defense gameplay style, and I actually managed to find one that allowed me to get to wave 21. Please never buff the Skyfall arrows, they are so much fun. You'll also need to choose a hero who comes with buffs or one-off rewards, plus a couple of spells that you can utilize during defensive waves as a last measure resort. Bosses arrive every few waves and stalk menacingly towards the gates of your village, requiring quite a few hits to take them down. But when they do fall, legendary loot drops and I was all over it like seagulls on chips. Ultimately, Nordhold is really addictive, even in demo form, and I'm really keen to see how it expands on that in full release at the end of this month. Bit of a shorter episode this month. I had to get it wrapped up slightly earlier than usual because the chances are that right now as you watch this episode, I will be face down in a bowl of soup having had all of my wisdom teeth removed. I would honestly really love to hear which games from this month's list caught your eye and what you're looking forward to more information on or the release of. I honestly enjoyed Nordhold so much. I have so many hours in Nordhold. Even just in its demo state, it is incredibly addictive and has a really short learning curve as well, which I appreciate. And honestly, I would love to see News Tower collaborate with Hollywood Animal. They're both 1930s management sims. We happy. Twin Sails Interactive. Please make this happen. On another note, don't forget that the Steam City Builder and Colony Simfest 2025 will be running from March 24th to 31st, so if there are any games that you've been keeping an eye on, there might be some tasty discounts coming up towards the end of this month. Also, a massive thank you to you guys for supporting this new series. I've had a ton of fun writing the episodes, researching the games, playing the games, and having a chat to some devs and some publishers. So thank you for everyone who has watched it, left a like, gone and played one of the games. It has been so awesome to see. As usual, if there's something that I missed, or if there is a game that you would like me to cover, or you're a developer or publisher with your own game and you would like to see your game on this channel, feel free to email me at reneskyplays@gmail.com. That's it from me for March 2025. Please send soup and ice cream vibes. I'll see you in April with 4 fewer teeth. Fun. Writing them, scripting, that's the same thing. I have had so... Fuck. What does it say? On another note, do not forget that the City Builder and... But ultimately, the best way to be notified of any discounts on games is to wishlist the game, which also helps the devs immensely. So, wishlist the games. Because I've had all my wisdom teeth removed. Forgot to say the end of the sentence. Most of which are most of which are currently still available. Just say it, just sing it. Just sing the intro. I had a lot of fun checking. I thought I was actually going to do it then. Oh my god.